Okay, looks like we're live. Hello. So this is take two of this stream. Had a little bit of internet issues the first time. Uh, Reset the router. It looks like we're okay so far. We're dropping a little bit of frames. Um, but we'll see. We're gonna give it a go. All right. Let's let's see if this works. Now it's dropping more frames. The odds of me... Yeah, my bitrate keeps crashing. Alright. Now, if I kick off music, is that going to crash it even more? Let's try. Okay. Well, worst case, it doesn't look like that's affected the bitrate too much. Like, we're getting maybe a little bit of stutter. We're dropping about 10% of frames, it looks like, as my connection jumps back and forth. Alright, well, we'll give it a go. Let's see how this works. Matt, how are you? Let me know if the stream chugs or drops frames, stuff like that. Since I'd rather not. I only have one monitor at the moment, and I do not want to have to leave a window open checking on dropped frames on the stream. So just holler if stuff starts to tank. Looks like the bit rate has stabilized, so maybe we're good, maybe we're not. Who knows? Anyway, we'll just dive right into it. So we are finally at a point where we mostly have all 18 down. Now, some of them I need to go back and do some major renovations to. Some of them I need to go back and do some minor renovations to. Now, I'm probably not going to stream all of this process because it's a little bit tedious, but wanted to at least, you went to 2 basketball games today. Nice. Yeah, well, I figure I'll at least show you some of the process. So I've been kind of rolling through and determining what I want to do on the course. So I decided, as much as I liked the waterfall on 8, making it work on this hole was going to be a massive pain in the ass. And I think this one would be better suited by me being able to rework all this land and make it, conducive to the hole itself, as opposed to splitting it in half and running a waterfall through it and then trying to get all of that sculpting to work. It was going to be a mess, so we'll probably do some renovations to 8 at some point. Also, 18 is kind of half finished. I still need to redo that green site, but the rest of it's okay. And I've done little tweaks here and there in a couple of spots. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, I have lots of doodles. I've changed up 14 a little bit. We've rerouted the fairway and removed some of those bunkers. Also tinkered with some planting ideas here, which I kind of like. Let's see. Oh yeah, I need to redo a lot of this stuff. Alright, so I have a lot of this mapped out via measuring tools. So in order to not... I want to get rid of these measuring tools. So we're going to go ahead and incorporate all the changes that I doodled out in measuring tools first. So this one's basically done. I did this one off stream. Then I guess all they have left for my penciled in measuring tool changes is reworking the fairway runoff on the green at 13. Again, I like this green site. I don't think the runoff needs to be this generous. So we'll probably we'll scale that down a little bit. which just means reworking the spline. I think we'll leave a little bit of a turn in there just for fun, but there's a lot of room there that we don't need. The odds of shots going in there are very, very slim. So actually we could even probably bring that in a little bit more. We'll sharpen or we'll smooth that back out. Yeah, that works for me. Then I think all I wanted to do with this, start moving. We wanted to stretch this fairway out a little bit. Give more room to the cliff because that's kind of the preferred line into the green. So we want to encourage you to play as close to the cliffs as possible for this hole. Hence the we need to expand the fairway so that playing up to the cliffs is an option. Since that is the line, and that's what we want to that's the aggressive play that we want to promote on this hole. Oh, we got lots of cliffs. Let's see. Do another sharp and smooth on this one. That works. Then I can probably pinch in the fairway a little bit. Maybe I put a bunker there, maybe I don't. We'll see. I'll revisit this one in a bit. This is generally kind of where this stage of the design goes for me. Actually, let me take a quick peek. I want to make sure I'm not dropping frames. Yeah, bitrate's steady. Yeah, drop frame percentage is down to 4%. So I think we're safe. I think we can officially call this stream a go. Hello. I see I get a little notification for first time chat. So hello and welcome to the channel. We're doing some course design today. Let's see. Where was I saying? Oh yeah. So anyway, normally at the point where I've penciled in all 18 holes, I have a rough idea of the routing and the ideas I want. I'll usually do either 1 or 2 passes, usually 2. We'll fix up parts of the design that I think need changed, get the sculpting done, and all of the major planting stuff like trees and that sort of thing done, and then go through one more time and do just like the detail planting. So this pass will be tee boxes for holes that don't have it, all the sculpting. I might want to add a little bit of kind of randomness into the fairways. So that might involve just adding some rolling through and adding little contours. Just use the raise tool to do that, just to because our terrain is kind of chaotic and wild, and our course itself is a little on the holes themselves are pretty tame and flat, so it doesn't necessarily fit the landscape at all points. So to solve that, we can dial up the land movement on the holes themselves and make it kind of match its environment. And the reason for that is just because I went through and flattened all of the corridors that the holes are playing through when I was essentially I went wild and did a lot of big sculpting moves like this, just randomly clicking a lot of stuff. And then in order to build golf holes on them, I had to kind of smooth that out. Now that we have all of the holes in, it's time to go in and start fussing up stuff a little bit more. So, we started with something very fussy, smoothed it out so it was kind of smooth, built golf holes, and now we're dialing it back into a little messy. How's it going, Scoot? Thanks, Zach. You know, admittedly, I enjoyed it too. It was fun playing some familiar courses, and I actually made the cut both weeks, which is a rarity for me. So that was fun as well. Now I'll probably dive into CC rounds after this stream. I don't remember where we're at, but you know. There's a little less pressure now for me to make the cut. I'm a little less concerned about it. So yeah, just like we'll be doing little stuff like that, where it's just, you know, enough contours to make the land feel a little more natural and a little less flattened out. You know, we don't want anything too monotonous is a wrong word, and I'm blanking on the word, but like too perfect, too smooth. I don't know why I'm blanking on words so hard this evening, but you know, it'll feel more natural if there's a little bit of randomness and variety to the terrain. We don't want anything too like overly smoothed out. Thank you, sir. Yes, that's the course we're playing this week. So the next thing to do would be getting some surfaces sorted. Now, so the first couple holes are going to require a little bit more redos or a little bit more renovation than some of the later ones. So when we started this project, I wanted to do a lot of... I had penciled in some pine straw for the interior areas of the course. And I think I've changed my mind, and I want to use the base texture on Boreal for those areas, just to kind of tie the entire environment together. Which also means that I'm going to have to lift a lot of like planting and move it back in. So in this case, we're gonna doodle where the area we want to kind of be pine straw / the base texture. We're gonna go ahead and delete the spline there, and we are going to go ahead and grab all of our planting here. We're gonna move it. We'll just move it right here. Oh, I just realized I think okay, so all of the heights remain the same. But that's okay, because we're gonna go drop it in the same spot. So I think we can get away with it. Oh, we have a couple bushes that didn't make the move. All right. But, what am I looking for? We want heavy rough brush. I want to see, I guess there's not any, there's not any heavy rough here. Did I do this with splines, or is this just, yeah, there's no splines, so I guess this is just base texture, and we can... I guess there's one way to find out, and that's to go bury some trees, which dials that base texture up a little bit. Scale it up, sync it. So this is what we'll be doing with a number of the... yeah, there's no... okay, we're good. So... now that I know there's none of that in there, we can go grab this planting again and move it back. Let's see if this works. Boom. Okay, that's nice. That was a lot simpler than I thought it would be. Now we'll go back, grab our tree, and bury a couple more of these just to dial that base texture up a little bit more. We want it to be noticeable, so... Alright, there we go. And now we're going to finish that area off. And to get kind of a nice clean edge, we'll go ahead and take some heavy rough splines and trace those around outside. Fill in any of the interior areas we need. So it's a little bit finicky and complicated, but this will let us make our let's see, there we go, clear the distance markers. This will let us make our off-course areas a little more subtle and natural and fit into the backdrop a little bit more. So if you look at hole 18 in reverse, it looks like a dawn. On this course or Priory? I'm assuming Priory. I don't know. Oh, huh? I'm not saying it. No, well, regardless, I'm changing the green up anyway. So, right now we have our splines in. I can just do some brushes to fill in the gaps, and that'll give us some nice, you know, nothing crazy, but you know, relatively simple off-course area here. I don't know if we want that much planting now that we're kind of going with something a little more rugged and natural, but we can tweak it as we go. So yeah, that would be... I don't need to do it all on stream right now because it's very tedious and uninteresting to watch. But that's what we'll be doing to all of these mulched or you know, pine strut areas that, like this one. We'll be turning them into like stuff like this. So other than that, I believe we have yeah, 15 I think and 8 I need to do some work on. So we'll probably do that on this stream. But yeah, so this is this second pass through, of course, usually just turns into finalizing ideas, you know, ideas usually changes as a design progresses. So like this one, I did a lot of stuff on the first couple holes that I eventually just sort of stopped doing and no longer really want to do with this project. So that means we get to go through the first couple holes and we start undoing those things and making them fit the rest of the style of the rest of the course as we've kind of established it. And then, like again, there's a couple holes here that don't have greens yet. We can start filling in establishing some more finalized greens, that sort of stuff. And yeah, nothing crazy, but I can also start sprinkling in crowds in places. I think we want crowds on this. I don't think we really want tournament objects in any meaningful way on this one. Probably not. But we can sprinkle in crowds. Alright, so first hole I think is about done. I need to do a little bit of planting on the exterior of it, but for the time being, I think we're about done with it. Let's pop our controller back in. We'll do some play testing of the first couple holes just to verify that everything's where I want it at the moment. Yeah, that's right. I had sprinkled a couple crowds on the first hole. There was like heavy rough. I think I'm about good. We might have to, we might detail some of the off-hole areas, like in between 18, 17, and 1. We'll do that eventually, but that'll probably be the last pass that I do. The goal for this pass, get all of the major planting ideas done, and get the holes essentially into sort of their like finalized playable shape, I guess. State is a better word, I suppose. Yeah, the greens on 1 and 2 are mostly done, so it's really just getting the surfacing correct, which is just removing the pine strut areas and filling them back in with the base texture, and then sprinkling in some crowds. I think I want to have a little bit of tea furniture on the course, and I usually, if I'm doing tea furniture on a course, I like to sort of sprinkle that in when I've finished everything else on a hole, just as a little marker to myself that this one's done. I don't need to go look at it in my pass. So in that case, I think we'll maybe want some benches. Or little tea caddies or something like that. So we'll take, at the very least, let's get... What kind of bench would I want on the side here? This one's probably a winner, I think. Just put it off to the side like that. I don't know if I want any... I think it's equipment, of course. Could throw some bowl washers, a little... I don't know if we want tea caddies or not. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe we'll put a bowl washer there, that's fine. Yeah, there you go. That looks fine to me. So there, that's our little mark that number 1 is done. 5 tea sets or just 2 with 3 extra boxes? Just 2 sets. So that's the thing. I like to have extra tee boxes on a course like you would on a real course, but again, it just has a little bit of flavor. It fills in some empty areas between the playable tees and the green. It gives me some options if I want to make another version of the course later, but really, like the front tee boxes are sort of like where realistic front tees might be. Like 420 is probably, or 430 is probably a little long for a front tee box, but not unreasonable. You know, for like a ladies or juniors tee. But at the end of the day, they're mostly there for decorations. They don't have to be like really playable. But again, so like most people who are playing this course in game really don't have any business playing a 410 yard par 5. I think I don't know if I have the front tees in all of them, but I think the goal would be back tees are, you know, 70, 90. Front tees are probably going to end up being about 6,800. So you have kind of the full multiplayer / tournament tees, and then you have kind of a casual one in the front. I don't really think there's a whole lot of a reason to have more front tee boxes on this course. I think we'll keep it simple, and we're going to have 2 playable tee sets. What was I gonna say? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I mean, we can revisit that, but realistically, there's not any. The back tee sets are going to be the ones that get all of the traffic, anyways. The only reason anyone plays like the really front tees on a course that offers them is just because they want to throw up a really big number and just kind of attack all the greens, which is fine. But I'm also at that point where I don't feel like, you know, really incorporating those and play testing them to make sure they work. It just there's enough work making the 2 tee boxes functional for the ones I expect people to play. So we'll just, you know, essentially the front boxes are just there for flavor, and, you know, again, maybe options if somebody wants a specific tournament setup thing, like they want to, you know, they want to move up a couple boxes on a couple holes to make them really attackable or stuff like that. It's, you know, ultimately I don't think they'll really ever get used, so we'll just not use them. Not for now, anyway. Again, this is, you know, the front pins are 120 on, like, say, this hole for the back boxes. I don't think anyone's really that interested in playing this hole from 80 yards. All right. So in that case, well, I'll hold off on putting the tea furniture on this because I still want to redo these mulched areas, but I'll do those off stream, so we don't need to stream all of that, especially for the holes that are mostly done minus those things. We just wanted to kind of walk you guys through the process of what I would be doing off stream and then doing kind of the nitty-gritty details off stream. So here, we've kind of hit a hole where this one has a little bit of the same stuff that one does, where I want to kind of dial in a little bit more funky land movement here. Just to, again, make it a little less kind of perfectly smooth. We don't need that severe of a spine. And really the goal is, except for holes that have maybe very wide playing corridors, I don't want the contours so severe that they start dramatically affecting the way that the hole plays. So, like, the landing areas, we want those to be, again, we don't want them to be flat. We want to give you a little bit of some odd lies in places. We don't want perfectly flat lies, because that's boring. We want to give you a little bit of movement here and there, but I also don't want you to hit the middle of the fairway like on this hole and have it shoot down the cliff. That's not what we're trying to do. We want just a little bit of flavor, not enough to land movement to completely change the way the hole plays. So, again, just little subtle movement, enough to to suggest some imperfections and movement in the land. And this is also one where I do not have a green. I have the green site picked out, but I don't have green contours yet. So, like, this would be the part where I would go through and set the green up, multi-pin it. If I didn't have all the tee boxes and tee sets in, I would do that sort of stuff. And then we just roll through and do that for all 18 holes. And then at the end, like, for our last pass, there might be a little bit of fine-tuning and kind of play testing, what do you want to call it? Like, just, like, I might have all of my major green contours figured out in this step, but in the next one I might, find that, okay, I like all of these slopes, but this one pin is on a, like, this one slope doesn't work for this one pin as well as I want. So you might move it a couple inches up or down, that sort of stuff, tinker with it until it does what you want. And then doing the little detail planting and all of the sort of polishing pass. Anyway, sorry, now I'm mindlessly playtesting while I talk. We wanted to run through 3 just to kind of make sure that everything there was good, and it is. So now we want to start getting into green contouring. Now I kind of want to add. We're gonna do raise so that I can, kind of add. What do you want to call it? Add contours without over flattening stuff. Now I kind of want to raise this right side. I think it'd be fun to get some. we can get some contours that move the ball right to left to make kind of these, actually, in this case, I'm gonna do flatten just to get, we don't want the green running off the edge too much here, so we're gonna flatten that edge. It's better. Oh, just realized we have this little guy here. We want to sort this transition out, so we're gonna fix that. There we go. That's perfect. This one is... it's passable, if not great. Oops. No, what did I do? Okay, whoops. That was a weird camera movement. Alright, that's good enough. There. Okay, so we want to get some ridges in here to help move the, so you can kind of throw the ball right and funnel it into the left. Now, you can also do like a little bit of a ridge here in the middle, like just a subtle one, enough to kind of separate. Whoops, that's more than we wanted. Yeah, drop it about 4 inches. That's enough to get a little ridge, and then we can flatten it to push that ridge back a little bit. And then it'll give us a little bit of movement in between pin sets. Alright, so I think... I mean, I've got 3 obvious pin spots. We have one here, you know, one back here maybe, or down here. And you can take that funnel and roll it in there. Probably one here. But I've only got 3 obvious ones. I could probably put one back here. Or that one's a little harder to attack. You kind of have to, you have more room to run it up from the front, but you can't, where you have to attack this one straight on, whereas this one you can kind of roll it in from the right side. With that being said, it's not a long hole and it's downhill. You're usually hitting like, I think I'm usually hitting pitching wedge to 8-iron into this hole, so it's not... it's not too treacherous. You know what? I'm feeling like we don't want our toughest pins to all be pin 4. We want to mix it up a little bit. So we might start pin 1 as the back left one for now. And then we go friendlier. Go 3 in the middle, and then 4 can be that. Actually, that's kind of the tougher one, I think. This is a more fun one. Alright, let's see. And then just to make sure, where's pin 1? Pin 1's front right, and then versus back left in the next one. So that's good. Alright. Well, usually that's part of my third pass is I start doing things like, okay, now that I have my pin locations and green contours sorted out, it's making sure all the pin sets work. So if, say you accidentally, like I've done this before, where, oh, there's 12 out of 18 greens where pin 2 is in the front, or stuff like that. Where your pin sets are not very mixed up, and they're all kind of homogeneous. You know, where you're repeating, you know, front pins over and over and over on a set. Something worth checking and going through and fixing. Make sure that your pins are kind of sorted out a little bit, mixed up. Oh, also, I think I need to, at some point, as for an HB thing, the places that I know should not be played from, I need to start marking as OB. I am torn on whether or not I want to, let's see. I'm torn if I want to make, put the OB markers on the cliff, because they're just kind of ugly. Let's see. We'll do a quick save, just because. Where's OB? There it is. And then at the very least, I know I want, like, the cliff to be OB. Just as it's a playlist course, you wanna take some of the guesswork out of it. So, again, and we can be a little conservative with the areas that we pencil in as. Oh, did it disappear? What the hell? That's annoying. Alright. But anyway, I can pencil in all the cliff areas that I know are unplayable, or should be unplayable, and just have those marked as OB in case any shots get caught up in it. Now, I don't tend to do that for most of my courses, but again, since this is a playlist course and it's, you know, going on 2K's, you know, multiplayer playlists, I think they want us to idiot-proof these a little bit, so, you know, I don't want to assume that people know how to work the unplayable drop scenarios. You know, and find like, oh, I'm on a cliff and I can't get back onto the hole and I can't make a swing on it, that sort of stuff. So it's like, you know, like, oh, I need to take an unplayable so I can go back to my last shot and keep progressing on this hole. We wanna do all of that work for you. Which means that, again, I can adjust these later. This might, you know, this might involve a little bit of play testing later, but just to make sure that the spots that I have marked as OB are reasonable, and there aren't any unreasonable spots that I have not marked as OB. Whoa, that's not what we want. Alright. That's good enough for now. And we'll get all of that penciled in later. But for the time being, I think that's an appropriate amount. The stuff in these trees is playable. Like, essentially, stuff like this ridge would be playable. I'm okay with leaving that. That's kind of where most like, if your tee shot bounces off, that's probably where it's bouncing off. Actually, let me check. Let's do a quick test. Where is our landing areas? All right, so big drives are landing here. Yeah, it's very possible to end up in this area off a tee shot if you just, like, if you're downwind and you crush one, that sort of stuff. But, like, this is about the limit of what we would want to be playable. So I think we concede this area. Like, that's a place you could reasonably hit a golf ball and climb down into. Uber, thank you for the raid. Hello. Welcome, everybody. We're just designing and rambling. Yeah, I think, you know, as far as things that should not be playable, and therefore I should mark as OB, stuff kind of on the inside of this dotted line is about where I want it. And if I go check and see where I penciled it in, it's pretty close. So, actually, yeah. So first things first, we can go dial this in just a little bit more. All right, that's good enough for now. I can go back and, again, try that out a little bit more later, but that's good enough for now. All right. So now that we have all the major stuff penciled in, now we can just do some quick play testing on it. Make sure that it plays effectively. Yeah, this pin gets real scary when you hit it in the rough. They even make it? No, the answer is no. So yeah, that's exactly the kind of shot that we want to prevent getting hung up and people getting stuck. So yeah, we're just gonna, oh, we're gonna bail into the green. Awesome. So I mean, that's a good sign. It's very possible for your ball to bounce down off the cliff and get caught in the side of it because heavy rough, but we don't want that to be an option to play from, just because, again, you can easily get stuck there. If you attempt the shot, you can't pull it out, then you have no option to get back into play. So simplifies all of those things for us. Then 4 is mostly there as well. We just need to, again, add some fairway contouring to this just to jazz it up a little bit. And this has basically a flat green, and we don't want that. We want some interest to this. I think 5 is done green-wise, so, and multi-pinned, so this one, and this is, I believe, also the last hole that needs pine straw removed, so when we do that, we'll be good to go on this one. Like, a lot of stuff on the front 9 is very close to being done and should be a really quick fly-through polishing pass. Actually, yeah, we're 42 minutes into the stream already, and I've just kind of been rambling on process and getting the first few holes touched up. Actually, here we're gonna do, since they're all new, I want to do some play tests of all the pin sets here. Yeah, see, now I'm getting a lot of kicks left, so I might want to dial back some of those fairway contours a little bit, so they're not pushing me into the rough constantly. This pin's a little gnarly. Again, and this would be a great example of one that I would keep an eye on, and you know, we might get some adjustments to it in the next pass. Or currently, I might just we might move some of those tiers a couple inches just to I mean, especially because there's not there's no pins here, so I don't have to worry about that. So there, we can just you know, we can get rid of that what do you want to call it, that orange area right next to the pin. Can move it more into the middle of its tier, and that should work. It's a good way to make that pin more friendly. Also, just to prevent a lot of those same kicks that I was getting, we can drop the middle of the fairway there and raise the edges, and that should, you know, without doing anything too substantial, should decrease the number of shots that run through this fairway into the rough on the left. If you're, you know, because most people are going to have to take shots over that bunker to the left of it. There, that's a much friendlier hop and much more appropriate. we go. Oh. Well, my putting sucks, but that's nothing new. And then one more playtest for pin 4. But I think we've got 3 right where we want it. Well, actually, I'm curious. Let's try laying up a 3-wood. Just that takes that bunker out of play, the landing area is good for it, and then that leaves us, like, this is the longest club we'd reasonably have into this pin. Now, this doesn't need to be an easy shot because I laid back, and, you know, we don't have to necessarily give a scoring opportunity for layups, but we want this shot to be at least plausible. I don't have to be able to hit it really close, but we want it to be, you know, like a good shot shouldn't be 60 feet away or something like that. In this case, you know, hit it further than the front edge. I ended up a little long, but like a 6-iron holding that green and getting close to the pin is very doable. There's nothing too absurd about that shot, so the difficulty is right where we want it. But yeah, so there we go. That I think will that'll do it for number 3 green at the moment, which would roll us into number 4. However, that being said, I might do some of these greens off stream. We'll see. I know I have a lot of work to do on number 8, so I think we can do that on stream. We'll do more of the more major hole renovations. So we're about halfway through this episode. We want to do more major stuff with this episode. Get the big stuff out of the way. Now, there's no reason anymore for me to split this fairway, because that the kind of waterfall that was going to run through the middle of it is gone. How's it play into the wind? I'd assume about the same. You know, worst case, your drives, you know, here. I think we did play it into the wind. So weird. I can't remember. Was there a compass somewhere? I can't remember how you determine what direction is where on a map. I knew there was some way to do it, and I can't remember what it was. Whatever, we could just do it by trial and error. But ultimately, I don't, like, this hole's not so long as it, you know, to need, like, if I can make it into the trickiest pin with, after a 3-wood layup, under edit. It just show up on your cursor. Oh, yeah, thank you. There we go. That's what it was. So there we go. So into it would be northeast is the winds we want. Alright. Let's go. What am I looking for? Oh, yeah. Wind speed. We'll go high, and then wind direction northeast. Cool. Play the hole. Yep, there we go. Oh, and we hook it. That's fine. But I mean, really, it's like, oh yeah, this shot's not really doable. Not out of the sand into the wind, so you just bail right, and it's easy. Like, yes, you're not going to make a birdie from the sand into a strong wind, but it's not like it's unreachable. There's not any major concerns I have about the playability into the wind. It's only when you really start asking for, like, say, 3-wood approaches, you know, on par 4s without wind that you really start pushing it. Oh yeah, then we're going to be massively downwind on the next. That's a terrible shot. Oh well, I need to stop mindlessly playtesting. We're wasting time here. I want to get more stuff done on this stream. Alright, so we want to make sure 8 and 9 aren't too similar to each other. You know, 9 split in the middle. It's a weird song. We're gonna skip that one. And green's mostly done. But anyway, the green sites are different, but there's no reason I need to split these. And I can widen my corridors and make this a little bit more, maybe less cliff-hugging of a hole. All right, you know what, I can, that bunker's not bad. So I want to just, I don't need to save the shape, it's fine. We'll just remake it. So we'll just delete that. All right. I think I'm mostly okay with those general contours. We can flatten this out a little bit so that we can use the entirety of this landing area, or of this piece of land for fairway. We don't have to split it like we do 9. It's a little repetitive to do that 2 holes in a row. So, okay. Next up. Oops. Go ahead and delete that spline. This one can stay for the most part. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, that works okay, so I'm going to pencil in just in case if I decide to replace it. I'll probably let the fairway run all the way down the cliff on the left. Where do we want to start it? This is a good starting point. Probably, I think we can run it further over because that is all flat. Cool. Cut over here. How wide do we want this? And where is our preferred landing area? That's about 200 and change. Now, I think that's about where we had our bunker before, and there's still that slope there. I imagine we can kind of cut this. We can cut this landing area down a little bit, throw in some bunkers there, and let's see, something like that. Some contouring that makes sense on this hole. Now, how wide is this? Is the question. 50 for the layup, which is very generous. Perfect for a hole like this. If you really want to gun it, you got to hit it in that 30-yard wide spot, which is still plenty generous, but not anything, you know, it's, you know, it requires a shot, and the penalty for missing that is pretty severe. I am okay with that. Do you have any interest in giving you one last test play before publish? Absolutely, I can do that. I'm probably about a half hour away from wrapping this episode up, so I am happy to do some play testing after that. If you're around in a half hour, I'm happy to do it. Okay, let's see here. I don't think this is really that much different than the what do you want to call it? This isn't that much different than the holdout we had before, but that's okay. All right, so here's our preferred landing area. So if you've made it all the way here, you're probably just gunning for it, which means, yeah, you're hitting a 3-wood in to this protected green, which is kind of scary, but it's doable. We'll see. Also, I don't want this to be hill anymore. We want to sink that down, and we want to put some bunkering in here. So that'll be what guards that green now. What? Okay. So what if you end up in this bunker? Then what are your options? So the safe shot out is, you know, like 160, 170. That should be reasonable. And you get to hit this 40-yard wide area. That's fine. You can probably stretch this out a little bit and make it wider up there. It's kind of an ultimate safe layup option there. Petro, what's up? Don't have to get up till 4:45 tomorrow. AM? That sounds horrible. That's the sleeping? Or do you not have to be, or is it? Oh, that's so harsh. Oh boy. My condolences. That is a rough go. All right. Suppose I'm getting, I'm fussing over little details that I do not need to be fussing over this early in the whole design here. We can always move these splines around if I don't like them. Well, that's good. Alright, we'll throw kind of a little generous layup area here short. And then this is plenty generous for most layups. This is kind of like an emergency bailout spot. If you're just in a really terrible spot and there's just no shot fits your eye. Hi, Orion. Hello. Alright. Fill that in. Sharpen smooth. Toggle rough. And then whiten it. There we go. Perfect. That fits that. Now, okay, now it's bunker time. I think I want to raise the back part of this a little bit. That would work. We'll get that to pop out a little bit, make it a little more of an intimidating spot to end up. Smooth this area a little. There we go. Ryan, get off the computer. Thank you. I will be with you in a minute. All of those sound awful. My condolences. Yeah, something about fairway shaping on this looks funky, but I'll tinker with it. It's just the middle part that looks weird. It functions just fine, but we wanna jazz it up a little visually. Now we can ditch this hill a little bit and make that a little bit of a hollow for some bunkers. Actually, I might pop this side up a little. So there we go. Okay. Well, I think I'm putting this bunker right about where the last one went, so I really could have just kept that, but oh well, live and learn. There you go. Something like that works just fine. Okay, raise the back a little bit. Fair. Well played. Alright, yeah, cool. Now let's sink the pan in just a little bit. Perfect. Yes, We'll see. I might just tinker with some of the details on this one off stream, but we'll see. I'm kind of hitting that point of a project where there's starting to be a real shortage of good stream-worthy material. It starts to get really tedious and boring at this point in a project. It's just going in and doing up little details. So there's kind of deciding what suits a video series and what doesn't is always a tough challenge for this part of a design. Ryan, please, for the love of God, get off my computer. I know you want attention. We'll play in a bit. Or I think he wants food. I fed you earlier. You ate all of your food. Alright. Sprinkle this in. And then I'll go do the bunker 2 by the green. We'll call that for now. Oh, at least this hole. Well, we can get a little bit more work done on this in this stream, but again, I'm hitting the point where like there's a lot of work left to do on this, and we're rolling pretty nice, but I am also running short of really stream-worthy material, so it'll be very interesting to see what we do from here. There might only be 1 or 2 more episodes left in this, or there could be 5, depending on how much of that remaining work is watchable, and how much of it is me just tinkering like 30 minutes at a time with random various stuff. Alright, let's see. I want to stretch that one out a little bit. Do something like that. Like that. And we'll go and raise this ridge back in. It's just in the wrong place, so we had to sort that out a little bit. Oops. Let's go raise that. That's better. Do I want a little third one? I could do that. I don't know. Again, at this point, I know I want this general area bunkered in, but the specifics of it are really just for visual flair. So it's like this bunker is not one that most people are probably gonna get hit into. It's just more, hey, this area is bunkered and it's filled in and it looks right. Okay. So yeah, and again, for those of you following along, it's let me know if there's stuff that you specifically want to or don't want to see in these episodes. Because ultimately, I'm taking a guess as to what parts of the design process are more watchable and which ones aren't. So yeah, I'm mainly sticking to like first pass on holes and like getting the concepts worked in from nothing, and then the tweaking stuff I do a little bit more off stream. Now again, some of that stuff like the detail polish, tee boxes, like that stuff is pretty boring. I think it's not that hard. It's just tedious. Versus also me working out where I want bunkers and kind of the general shape, and or just finding stuff where, oh, I don't really like the way this looks. I need to tinker with it with a couple like I need to prototype it 4 times and keep deleting it and not getting anything to look right, and then finally settling on something that looks okay. Like, that's probably not that interesting. Or maybe it is. I mean, who knows? Want brief under poop, don't want prolonged poop sequences. I mean, those... I don't think either of those things are being featured, but who knows? Alright. Alright, there we go. Have our little small decorative bunker up there. Although this is, I guess 18 I still need to go in and do. Maybe we come up with a green idea for 18. And that should be the last bit of our first major pass at this course. I'll try to do most of the greens on stream. Although I can already tell 4 is one I'm probably doing off stream. I just don't have any good ideas for it. So that's one that's going to take a couple passes at, of just tinkering with it to see, or just to get something that works and is interesting. So here we go. Oh, downwind covering that's going to be pretty easy. Alright, now we have... Is the hybrid gonna make it there and stop? Now, I'm okay with this not being an easy shot, but I don't know if I want it to be an impossible shot. We might have to scale the green up a little bit to make it work. And again, that's another trial and error thing where it's just play test a couple times, you know, figure out about where the difficulty level is. If it's where you want it, then you're good. If it's not, then tinker and give it another go. I wanted to... Oh, stay. Nope, well, we aren't making it from here. And that's just not a good shot. What do you call a teacher that won't fart in class? I gotta think of that one. Well done. That's the daddiest of dad jokes. Alright, we can bump the wind speeds down. I want to test it in more normal circumstances. You always use a brush for... Do you always use a brush for your off-fairway bunkers, or do you spline them sometimes? I basically don't spline bunkers. Every once in a while I will, but I just find that I can get tighter, more interesting shapes with using like circle brushes. So as a whole, I will basically always create bunkers that same way. Now, I'll do some slightly different brushes depending on the style of bunker I make. I think waist areas are a little bit different. Like I'll usually use that little gingerbread man brush in the last page. Yeah, what Reeb said. The only time I ever use splines is basically on like a sandbelt course where I need the bunker to cut into a playing surface. The only way to do that like well is using a spline. Also, I will occasionally use splines to do bunkers when do you go back and round the edges? I'm not sure I'm following the question. Occasionally, exactly what Reeb said. How you do bunkers will depend greatly on the look that you want. Also, I have a video that completely covers how I do bunkers. So if you have a bunch of bunker questions, just go check out that video. It should answer just about all of the questions that you have on how I make bunkers. Like, I think I cover a number of different ways to do it. I think I essentially cover most of the general styles of bunkers that I would make and how I make them and, you know, different techniques, that sort of stuff. It should all be in there. Let's see here. Alright, I mean, I am not sold on the difficulty of this shot. It might be a little harsh, which means I could, in theory, we could expand this green area a little bit. I like the idea of it, but it might be just a touch difficult to pull off. But I'm also just not hitting good enough shots to really test. What Reed said. I wouldn't say I'm the best. I'm well known for my bunkers. Purely, I think part of it is just the fact that I use them as a crutch. There are other people that are just as good at building bunkers, like Jamie, Ben, like all of those guys are really good at bunkers. I just make more bunkers on a course than those guys tend to. So since a lot of my courses are just bunker overload, and I happen to be decent at making them, it gives me kind of that reputation. Well played. Of course, I'm also picking a bad wind for testing this shot. I also, like, that's a fairway slope that probably needs to be adjusted. Because anything that runs past this bunker rolls hard into the, we want to raise, there we go. Rolls hard into that heavy rough on the right, and we want to minimize how hard that kicks, make that shot actually doable. We'll give it one more go. Yes, Orion, I know. Might cut. Oh my! I should turn tempo off, but that's just a pain. Dumb question. Where do I find that bunker video? It's on my YouTube channel. I think it's under here. Give me 1 sec. I'll drop the link in. I'll drop the link in chat. Or not, because it's going to take ages to load YouTube because I'm using all of my bandwidth on this stream. Yeah, what Scoot said. It should be under, like, Joy of Planting vignettes. It should be under Joy of Planting vignettes, and should be entitled Bunkers or something like that. Why am I mindlessly playing this shot? Alright, whatever. That's okay, I think. I mean, I don't know if I've ever really made a true tutorial. That bunker video is the closest I've ever come. Usually it's like, this is the kind of stuff I'm doing. It's just these videos. Now, I need to do a green for 18, but let's see. I also need to feed Orion here shortly. And I don't have any immediate ideas for the green on 18, so that might just be one I play around with and take a couple, Thank you, Scoot. Much appreciated. Alright. Oh, nope, don't save and exit. Just save. That's what we want. Alright. So, let's just do a quick... We'll do a run-through of what we've got, and what there is left to do. Alright, so first hole, that one's mostly done. My goodness, my swing sucks. That's gonna make playtesting hard. Also, I was gonna go play potentially tour rounds after this. Maybe I don't do that today. Yep, anytime, man. Alright. Yeah, so I think number one's about done. Other than gotta go in and fix up those pine straw areas. Again, it should take like a half hour. Nothing crazy, but I don't need to sit here and do that for a half hour either. So, second hole, same thing. Like where this one's at. Hole plays just fine. Don't envision any major changes to this one. Just redoing the planting work and then polish. Yep, I do like that green. I wasn't intending to make it kind of that bow tie template that I use all the time, but it just kind of fit, and it just ended up happening anyways. Hey Solani, how's it going? This one, I think we're in the same boat here. Just gotta remove those pine straw areas. We have all the contours dialed in. We're just gonna hit all the red fasts. We're going good. About to wrap up the design portion of this, and then probably play some rounds after this. Yeah, we've obviously just added this green on stream, you know, this one's new. I don't envision any real major changes to it right now. I kind of like where it's at, but we'll see. Yeah, 100%. I'm happy to play test for you. All right, 4. I like the concept here. I think I removed both of the pine straw areas off of it. There's one by the green. But this one needs a little bit of fairway contouring. Just need to dial that up a little bit, and it needs green contours. It's a little plain, so that's what's up to do on this one. Ooh, that's a shot. Let's get that. There's a couple songs in this playlist that are just annoying to listen to. I should pull those out. That is fair. Hi, Orion. You're just really amped. Hey, get off my hand. Thank you. He wants to play, and then he just latches onto my arm and starts scratching it with his back claws, which is the instant, nope, we're done here time. Alright, this one's pretty good. I just gotta remove that pine straw area, and I think this one's done. Like, it's got some interesting contours to it. The green's done. I think this one's ready to rock. Also, I don't think I've made any changes to this since the last stream. Actually, no, I expanded a little bit of runoff area to the left, and I think I tweaked the contours just a little bit. Really minor changes, but just, again, just little detail touch-ups. Oh, that's just a terrible putt. But again, the front 9 is mostly done. This is another one. I don't have any pine straw here. This one is all ready to go. I think this one's done. There's not, other than I gotta go maybe do a little texturing, like the heavy rough and stuff, and put some crowds in, detail planting, like that sort of stuff that we're gonna do on the whole course in the last pass. But as far as how it plays, that one's basically done. This one needs a little planting, needs, again, heavy rough done. Ryan, come on. Seriously, quit it. Sorry about that. Just, he's decided he wants to be extra ornery right now, which is why we're wrapping the stream up a little early. Oh yeah, I already have a green contours on this one. Maybe we change it up, maybe we don't. Like, it's a little bit of a blandish green. It's not bad. I just think it's maybe a little easy for a green where you're hitting flip wedges into it most of the time. But I like the general shape of it. Maybe just needs contours a little more extreme than that. And I am never gonna hit this fairway. Oh, never mind, we do. Now we get to try and see if the shot's even remotely possible. I think the answer is probably not. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of roll it into the fringe. Hitting this green in 2 is very difficult. Again, maybe... I don't know if we really need that to be doable, but who knows. 9, I think I can add a little bit of fairway contouring to this. But other than that, this hole's done. Oh, I need to re-smooth the tee boxes now that they got pulled a little bit with the sculpting I did on 8. So we just gotta reflatten those. This one has a green, or green contours. It's a little, like, basic 2-tier green. I can probably jazz this up a little bit. Again, the 2-tier green kind of works, but we'll add a little bit more personality to it. A little more dialed in contours, I think. Oh yeah, 10 has gotten a fair amount of changes since the last one, at least in terms of its environment. We've really dialed up kind of the rocks and stuff around it. I think this is another one I need to add a little bit more contouring to. But this was part of me figuring out how all of the kind of the ravines that run through the back 9 work. Back 9 has gotten a little bit more heavy work done on it since the last stream. I mean, we're kind of getting to that point where a lot of these are done, so maybe I should at least do one stream for planting just as I figure out the ideas for that. Although I can show off, I've started tinkering with some planting ideas and spots, and I can show off kind of what I'm thinking of for the rugged off-course areas. I don't believe this one has got any work done on it since I streamed last. I need to do tee boxes for this one still. It just has the 1 tee box. We'll add some more tees to it. This one's kind of a funky little awkward hole, but I think it's okay. A little bit of quirk is good. I think we're happy with this one. Again, a little bit more rock area. We'll probably keep dialing that in as we go and plant it, but then again, this green might be a little tame for one that is pseudo drivable, and you're always hitting a wedge into even if you don't attempt to drive it. So that one needs to be dialed up and made a little bit more extreme. Yeah. Like that little ledge up there, I don't think needs to be there. We can fix that. But having contours that push balls to the left is good by me. Don't believe this one's had any work done on it since the last stream. Again, that one also needs tee boxes done, but you know, we don't need to do that on a stream. We'll do that some other time. 13, yeah, no boxes done on this one yet. Yeah, we did a little bit of work on it on stream here. I still want to redo this back bunker. I hate the other 3. I think are decent. Want to dial up, probably recontour those a little bit so that they're a little more pronounced. But other than that, they're fine. I think this green side is fine. It's a fun little green. Maybe we tweak it so that it's not always so blind. I'm okay with it being obstructed, but it doesn't need to be completely blind on every shot. This one, we might be recontouring some of the area between the green and the fairway. We'll play around with some ideas there. $14 has gotten a little bit of a renovation. Removed some of the bunkers, reshaped the fairway, and then we started expanding. Or instead of the bunkers being here, we have kind of this ravine area that was already there. And I started tinkering with some planting ideas, with sprinkling some rocks, some bushes, little patches of grass. Nothing too heavy, but I think that's a cool vibe for the rocky off-course areas. And it's definitely an intimidating looking shot to yeah, it's not really that threatening, but it looks scary from the tee. Sometimes that's enough. The shot doesn't necessarily have to be hard, it just has to look intimidating. And we'll 3-putt it. Perfect. Or 4-putt it? Oh my god. Alright, whatever. That's fine. We're not here to play... Oh, yes. This tee box needs a lot of work because I moved it. This is another hole where we're probably... Oh yeah, this will need some work because I literally just expanded the fairway on stream. You got to get those edges worked out. But as a whole, also I think I want to put a bunker here. I like the idea. The hazard short left is a big rocky area, and the hazard short right can be a bunker. Now this is kind of a roll-in shot. You're gonna rip a 3-wood up, kind of try and bounce it in. There's a ton of contours there. As you can see, there's a big mound to the right, and and a slope to the left. So there's all sorts of. Yes, we did the full Ernie on the last. So a lot of fun concepts going on here. 16, I've re-contoured a lot of it. I think I've redone some of the bunkers. The green's about the same contouring as it was before. This is a pin I think I need to revisit. It's a little orange there, so again, just little tweaks where, okay, this pin's more severe than we wanted, we should fix that. It is playable, but it's not ideal. Oh, 17 hasn't changed since the last stream. I did some changes to it and then it didn't save, so I'll have to go back and redo that. Mostly just tweaking the bunkers. I want to change this green side up a little bit. Is it okay to have hidden bunker at the back of the green that shots can run into? Yeah, that's totally fine. Like Donald Ross does that sort of stuff all the time. Probably some other designers, but I only know that I'm more familiar with those on Ross courses because I recently sort of attempted to replicate that style. Left to my own devices, I usually like backing bunkers. I tend to raise those myself and have those be visually, kind of apparent, but there's no reason that you can't have a back bunker be blind. That's fine. Then, yeah, so 17, I think we're going to redo that green side a little bit. We touch up some of those bunkers. I want to push the green more toward the cliff and less, curled around that bunker. And then this one, I just need to come up with a green site for. Yeah, I mean, there's still a fair amount of work left on this course. Also, yes, I know I have a floating fountain. That's just, we'll move that. We have random placeholder objects where I was tinkering with modern art thingies that I will get rid of. Yeah, I was maybe gonna do a double plateau green here, and this is way too small and it doesn't work. Even if I do go with a double plateau, we gotta... This isn't the green or this green isn't gonna work. Alright, well there's what we have so far, and that's the list of stuff we have left to do. None of that's really major, we just got a couple greens left to do. Maybe I'll do those on stream, maybe not. We'll see how schedules go. So I'll either be back for one more finishing past stream, or the next time I'll be back, I will have done that, and we'll be diving into planting and finishing. Yeah. Anyway, for those of you in chat, I'm gonna cut the stream and kick it right back off. I just want to cut this video nicely for YouTube, so for those of you in chat, we will be around. We'll keep streaming after this, but for those of you watching this on playback, we will see you next time. Until then, have a good one.